Hey everyone, how's everyone doing? It is David here. I hope everyone's doing well. So today we have a special video. Today's video is going to be on the fallacy of boosters. All right. Now I've already made this intro like 10 times and I kept messing up. So I already know this video is not going to go that smoothly because there's just so much information to say in this video. So just bear with me if I like stutter or like make mistakes. So yeah, just bear with me. Now, why am I making this video, right? So I'm making this video because I have strong evidence to believe that KingsOut indeed does watch us, and I feel like it is my responsibility as a content creator, as a WizTuber who is trying to grow. Because if the game grows, then we as WizTubers grow as well. So I feel like it is my responsibility to help KingsOut in this area that they're trying to look at and they're trying to fix, and they just simply don't know or don't yet know everything about it, right? So I'm going to be talking about the fallacies of boosters, what they did wrong, how they got caught, and basically how they boost, so that KingsOut will know, and after they know, like if you know all the information, then you can fix it. If you don't even know all the information, how do you fix it, right? So, and it's also kind of for you guys too, I think it's entertaining for you guys to know as well. Right, so let's just delve into it. Now, so what is the fallacy of boosters, right? What did the boosters get wrong? Now before I even start, there are two kinds of boosters, right? The first kind of boosters are actually the boosters that I like, right? People assume that I hate all boosters. That's not true. In fact, I don't hate any. I just dislike the disingenuous ones. But I actually like the first type of boosters. The first type of boosters are the people who boost to like a ridiculous amount of rank because they just don't care. Like, they're not trying to lie to you. They're saying, hey, I'm a booster. F you, KingsOut. That's basically what they're saying. They're saying F you, KingsOut. Which I actually like. I actually like that they're doing that. Because it's hopefully it'll at least force KingsOut's hand, because it's like so blatant and so obvious. It's like, hey KingsOut, I can do this, I can exploit the system, what you gonna do about it? I actually like those kind of boosters because they're actually a positive for the community, believe it or not. It's the second group of boosters that I don't like, and those boosters are people who they boost, and then after they boost, they do real matches to try to manipulate people and try to trick people and try to deceive people into thinking that they're legit duelists. That's the kind of boosters that I actually really don't like, because you're taking our shine, right? You're taking our shine, like the people that actually put in so much work to PvP, and you just boom, you take our shine, you're ahead of us. And they're just so manipulative too. They boost like slightly ahead of the best legit duelists, and then they're like, bam, look, that's me. No, that's not how that works, right? You're stealing our shine, you're stealing our thunder, and you're also like, these boosters don't realize what they were doing at the time. They might realize now that time has passed, but they were literally playing a big part in destroying the game and destroying the PvP scene. Because when you do that, you're confusing KingsOut. No offense to KingsOut, but KingsOut, like, their employees, probably none of them are like real serious competitive duelists, and for good reason. Like, computer designing, I mean, they got a full-time job, in computer design. Like, there's a lot of bugs to fix in Wiz, so they have a full-time job, as designers, as software coders, all of that stuff. So, of course they don't have time to PvP. Like, who's gonna pay them just to PvP? That's like paying people just to play games. I know Wiz is a game, but there's a lot of work involved with the coding and the design, right? So it's understandable why KingsOut like don't know much about in-depth PvP. But because they don't know, these boosters were tricking KingsOut as well, and forcing KingsOut to be unable to act. Because they can remove Richard. All of Richard's accounts has been banned, right? They can remove Richard. But then they look at a level 50 duelist who has about the same win-loss ratio and about the same rank, just slightly higher rank than the best real legit duelist in game. Then, you know, they're gonna think, huh, why would he not be legit? Of course he's legit. We as the community, we know, right? We know. Like, we know. We literally caught all these boosters. And shout out to the people that stayed up till 4 a.m. and 5 a.m. Right? Because that's the time when these boosters boost. Like 4 or 5 a.m. when everyone's asleep. So shout out to the people that actually didn't have a life and stayed up till 4 a.m. and 5 a.m. to catch these boosters lacking. But the point is, they were confusing Kings out as well and forcing them to be unable to act on this very serious issue. Now, I'm gonna talk more about how people boost it, right? And again, these are very manipulative, deceptive people, right? And I'm not going to name names because I believe one of the big mistakes that I made in my initial video on boosting, which I will link below, it has, I think it has 4,000 views, almost 5,000. But you know, in that video, I think one of the big mistakes, like everything I said was right? But I think the only big mistake I made in that video was naming names. Because then the boosters were able to pivot and say, oh, he just don't like me. Like I give a fuck about you. I really don't, bro. But they were able to spin it and use that as an excuse. Like, oh, David just don't like me. I could care less, right? I don't hold grudges. I could care less about you. I could care less about these boosters. Right? So, because they were trying to do that in the first video, in this video, I'm not going to name any names, right? This is strictly going to be focused on the topic of boosting. So, there were boosters who are just so manipulative that, first of all, a common misconception people have is that people boost in 2v2 and 3v3. That's not true. The FU, the first group of boosters that says FU Kingzao, yeah, they probably do 2v2, 3v3, because they don't care about getting caught. You know, they're just sticking a middle finger to Kingzao saying, hey, what you gonna do about it? But the second group of manipulative boosters, they boost through 1v1, alright? They boost through 1v1. They get their level 50, and then they get their level 100 account, and they boost through 1v1. Right? And there were instances, again, I won't name names, but there were instances where a booster, one of the boosters in group 2, who were trying to deceive people, he literally got in a match with his level 100 in 1v1 ranked, and he was picking cards on both accounts to make it look like it was a real match. Like, that's the level we're at right now. That's the level we're at. That's the level of deception we're at, right? So Kingzao just needs to know that boosting doesn't just happen in 2v2, 3v3. Alright, the second group of boosters who boost to deceive, they do it through 1v1, right? Because they know if anyone was staying up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. and they caught him, they'd have no excuse, right? If they caught him in a 2v2 or 3v3, they have no excuse. But if they catch him in a 1v1, they could be like, oh yeah, that's not my character. In fact, some people have said that before. When they were caught, they're like, oh, that's not my character. When people who were close to them and were their friends verified, like, yeah, that's the dude's character. Or like, yeah, he had access to that account. Now, so that's basically how people boost, right? And so I just want people to know. So hopefully now Kingzao knows exactly how people boost, right? And I just want to, you know, take this part of the video, the latter part of the video, to explain my story in PvP, right? So for years, you know, I never cared about getting an audience on YouTube, right? I'll just post a video, post my matches, speed it up, and put music on it, right? And I couldn't monetize any of the videos, by the way, because I was using copyright music. So if you did see ads, those ads revenue went to the people who own the music, right? So I never cared about, like, I never try to make money. I never try to get an audience. All I cared about was helping people learn these advanced top tier PvP strategies that no one else was doing at the time. So I thought there was a gap in that market because Alex J. Ryder quit, and since then no one was really, you know, a top tier duelist who also posted videos, right? And the second reason was to prove myself to the community, right? Because I kind of came along as someone who people didn't really know, right? So I had to prove myself. Everyone knows me now, but at the time I had to prove myself, right? And I just want to speak on PvP in general, right? PvP is not easy. PvP is hard. Alright? I just want to show you guys my very first character. Alright, I want to show you guys my very first character. My very first character in the game was Kevin Deathblade. Now, I'm an 08 player, and I started PvP either in 08 or 09, right? This is my very first character. I did PvP on Kevin Deathhammer when in first age PvP when the level cap was 50. Alright, and even back then I didn't like questing, so I did PvP on Kevin at level 42 because right when I got the Colossus spell I just got tired of questing. I was like, I can't do it anymore. I had to start doing PvP, right? So this was my first age record, 218 to 162. Alright, 400 matches and I'm barely Commander. In fact, I stopped doing PvP because I was so scared of losing Commander, right? I had tried so hard to get Warlord. I did 400 ranked matches and I still couldn't get Warlord. In fact, I could barely keep Commander, right? Now, I do 3 times as many practice matches as ranked matches. Now, there's no way for me to prove that because practice matches are not recorded. So it's either you take my word and believe me or you don't. But that's what I'm telling you. I do 3 times. I've done 3 times as many practice matches as ranked matches. But let's just disregard that for a second. Let's just look at the ranked, right? Because this is the only thing I can prove, which is ranked matches. 400 ranked matches. And I could barely get Commander. PvP was not easy for me, right? I wasn't like nobody just gets PvP, right? You can't just step in the arena and wreck everyone. It takes years. It takes thousands of matches to achieve the skills, the experience, and the intuition to be a top tier duelist, or even to be, you know, one of the best duelists in the game, right? 400 ranked matches. Now I want to show you guys my second character, which is a lot of people know this is my second character, Cody Deathblade. There's a lot of lore around Cody because of what he's accomplished. So I just want you guys to look at this character, right? This is my first age. Alright. 400 matches on Kevin. 400 matches on Cody Deathblade in first stage PvP, right? And sure, I did achieve Warlord, but it wasn't a spectacular rank. It's 989. It's actually, I mean, it is a great rank for first stage PvP. Very few duelists had, you know, were Warlord or had almost 1,000 rank. So this is respectable. But still, I barely won above 500. I've lost almost as many matches as I've won. I did 400 ranked matches, right? And only 989 rank. It's not easy. This is not easy, alright? This isn't easy. Together in first stage PvP, I did 800 matches. 800 ranked matches. Multiply by that by 3. 2,400 practice matches. About 2,400 practice matches is how many practice matches I've done. But I can't prove that, so just look at the ranked matches. 800 ranked matches, and I couldn't crack 1K. I couldn't crack 1K. Alright? And then look at second age PvP, right? How many is that? Yeah, 560 ranked matches. 560 matches. Is that a lot of ranked matches? Yes, sir, that is. That's a lot of matches, alright? And still nobody heard of me in second age. Still nobody heard of me in second age. I was about number 700 on the leaderboards, right? Nobody even heard of me. Nobody knew who I was, right? Nobody knew who I was. But look at how many matches it took. Alright? You think this was easy? You think doing 560 matches was easy? It's not. It takes years of hard work behind closed doors. Of honing your strategy, honing your craft, mastering your strategy. Mastering PvP intuition, right? 560 in second age. And then only in third age did I break out. Only in third age did the community know who Cody Deathblade was. And look at how many matches I did in third age PvP. About 350 ranked matches. 350 ranked matches. Now, let's do the math. 800 in first age plus 500 in second age is, let's say, 1350. And then plus 350, so that's, let's just say 1700, right? 1700. Can you, like, just let that roll off your lips? 1700 ranked matches, right? Not to mention, at that point, I've done about 5,000 practice matches, right? Again, it's up to you if you believe me, but I do 3 times as many practice as ranked, right? But let's just look at the rank. 1700 matches for me to become the #1 ranked duelist on leaderboards before all the boosters surpassed us, right? Because you can't boost at the very beginning. Because at the very beginning, when leaderboards just reset, Arena was popping, right? Everyone was popping. Everyone was trying to, like, move up. Everyone was trying to be the best. So you couldn't boost because the queue had too many people. And if you join queue and you're a booster, you were gonna get your ass wrecked, right? Before the boosters came, I got #1 on leaderboards. It took 1700 ranked matches. It's not easy, right? It's not easy. And then that's fourth age, right? It's not easy. And I want to show you guys my life character, right? So my life character is also pretty well known if you watched me. So Cody Moonblade, we're gonna get on him. We're gonna see. So this is my character Cody Moonblade, right? Now let's look. First age, this character wasn't made. I made this character in second age, right? Look at the second age record, 107 to 30, right? That's probably the cleanest ratio anyone can ever get in this game, right? Some of my haters have said, oh, you know, you might be the #1 duelist, or former #1 duelist, but look at how many matches you did. You know, you don't have a clean record. If I wanted a clean record, I can get a clean record. The only way to get a clean record is if you're too afraid to push the boundaries, right? That's, like, having a clean record is not a compliment. That just meant you're a great duelist who was too scared to realize your full potential. You're a great duelist who was too scared to push the boundaries. That's what a clean record means, right? But I can definitely get a clean record if I wanted to. This is my record second age. And this was right when I first made the character, so I didn't have commander gear. I did Magus PvP with crown gear, without commander gear. Obviously, when I got the commander, I bought the commander gear. But from 500 to 800, which is where a lot of the losses came from, I didn't have commander gear. So imagine if I made this character in first age and started second age PvP with commander gear. Imagine how, like, this could be 107 to 10, honestly. Or maybe that's exaggerated, maybe like 107 to 20. But still, the point is, you know, at this point, so in second age, I was I was probably the #1 Magus duelist in Wizard101, right? However, again, nobody knew of me because nobody cared about Magus PvP. And again, I was like number 700 on the leaderboards on my highest character, so nobody knew about me. But this was how good I was, right? And then 3rd age PvP was when, so after Cody Deathblade became #1 on leaderboards, I can't compete on Death long term. Because long term, Ice is just so much of a broken school that there's no way I could compete with all the Ices that were vying for a #1 spot, right? I'm probably gonna make a separate video on Ice another day, so I got your back, community. Like, I understand how to explain why Ice is so broken, so that video will be coming up. But anyways, I couldn't compete long term on a Death because Death was just not good enough of a school. So I made a Life. I didn't want to make an Ice because I didn't want to hop on the overpowered broken bandwagon. So I made a Life instead, right? And Cody Moonblade was also at one point the #1 ranked duelist in game, right? And so he wasn't actually #1 physically on the leaderboards because there were so many boosters at the time. But just look at how many matches it takes. 640 matches. 640 matches. Just think about that number for a second. 640. That's a lot of matches. That's a lot of matches. Alright? It's not easy. PvP is not easy. It took about like 500 matches for me to be #1. Alright? It's not easy. And I just want to talk about the difference between this 3K and the boosters 3K, right? So one of the fallacies, so this is the what is central to the video. So this is what the video is about. The fallacy of boosters. What was the key fallacy of the boosters, right? So these boosters, a lot of these boosters who are in the second group who try to manipulate people, who are level 50 boosters, who boost and then do real matches, a lot of them, ironically, are really good duelists. Right? A lot of them are ironically a really good duelist. I would say they're like, honestly, I would say all of them are in the top 50 duelists in a Wiz, right? All of them are a top 50 duelist. Like, a couple of them are literally a top 25 duelist in Wizard101. Like, they're so close to breaking that glass ceiling, to achieving the top. They were so close, but they were too impatient and they didn't want to put in the work anymore, right? They were so close. Now, I'm gonna get to the main point of the video. What was the fallacy of boosters? What was it? These boosters, these level 50 boosters, at the end of 3rd age PvP, they had 3000 rank, right? Only about 20 duelists in 3rd age PvP had 3000 rank without boosting. And those handful of boosters were among those 20 people, right? So they had 3000 rank in 3rd age PvP. So in 4th age PvP, they thought, hey, I had 3000 rank at the end of 3rd age PvP. So if I can easily boost my way to 3k and no one will bat an eye, because I just had 3k rank in 3rd age. So why would anyone question that I now have 3000 in 4th age? That's their thought process, right? Here's the difference between this 3k and their 3k. We had our 3k in the heat of the moment, in the heat of battle, right? When 3rd age PvP, in the middle of 3rd age PvP. And they had their 3k towards the end of 3rd age PvP when leaderboards was about to reset. Whereas we had it way earlier, right? We started at the very beginning, at the reset. When PvP reset and it became 3rd age, we were immediately in the arena. And we were there the entire duration, right? These boosters, if they were to start at the beginning of 3rd age, they wouldn't have gotten far. Back then, no duelist has gotten 3k rank through real PvP, right? In 3rd age PvP, in the beginning of 3rd age PvP, no Grandmaster duelist in the game has ever, no duelist in the game has ever gotten 3000 rank without boosting, right? The first person to do it was Angel, the Ice. he cracked the biggest, strongest glass ceiling in ranked PvP, which is cracking 3K. Previously, all thought impossible. Like, Angel and I talked about it. I was like, you think we can do it? He was like, nah. I was like, honestly, I completely agree. I really don't think we can do it either. But he kept at it, and he did it. The second person to ever reach 3,000 rank was Tanner. Alright? Tanner, a top 10 duelist of all time, with his level 50 life. And the third duelist in the history of Wizard101 to ever crack 3K rank without boosting was Cody Moonblade. I was the third ever, right? We got to 3K by inventing unique strategies. Back then, nobody used, not this one, nobody used the Guardian Wand back then. Absolutely no one used it. And the spells that we were using, no one used, right? We invented new strategies, we invented new setups, and that's how we cracked 3K. And most importantly, we worked at it, right? Our 3K, Angel, Tanner, and I's, our 3K is monumentally different from the boosters 3K. The boosters, they did get 3K in third age without boosting. I give it to them. They're like top 50, top 25 duelists in game. But the problem is they got it at the very end of third age PvP when rank was about to reset, right? Right when rank was about to reset. When the arena queue was at its softest point in a long time. That's when they got 3K, right? There's a difference between our 3K and their 3K. Now 4th age PvP rolls around, and what the boosters didn't understand was something called meta, right? The PvP meta, it changes, right? So at the cusp, at the end of 4th age PvP and towards the beginning of, at the end of 3rd age PvP and towards the beginning of the 4th age PvP was a transition and a shift in the meta, right? Partly due to King Zhao changing or adding new gear, adding pierce rules, making critical such a big part of the game. We'll get to that in another video. But partly because of King Zhao adding all these mechanics, making legendary PvP, legendary duelists so overpowered. Maybe not overpowered, but like making them really good. And making them hit so hard, where everyone has over 100 damage, 20 pierce, 50% chance to critical. You know what I mean? So the meta shifted towards legendary PvP from the beginning of 4th age PvP to even currently now. The meta shifted to the point where the best level range to PvP was no longer Grandmaster. It was no longer level 50. It was now level 60 and level 65. Right? And why? Because they can easily beat Grands. Right? They can easily knock out Grands because their stats are so good. So the meta shifted to Legendary, and because they didn't do real matches, they didn't realize that the meta shifted. So when they boosted 3K and said, hey everybody look at me, I'm 3K, first to get 3K. Look how good I am. You know, were there kids who were like, oh yeah, that makes sense? Yeah, of course. But every other experienced duelist, we know because we do ranked matches too. We were grinding too, like the top 3 duelists in 3rd age PvP, Angel, Tanner, and I. We did 4th age PvP too. We didn't just say, hey, see ya, we're done. No, we did PvP too. Right? We did PvP too, and look at this. 212 to 138. A far cry to my 2nd age record, right? This 2nd age record is what happens when you PvP at the end of the PvP age, when the queue is at its softest, right? Look how clean my record is, using crown gear. This is crown gear. Before Commander, I was using crown gear. 107 to 30. You can get this rank towards the end of the PvP age. In fact, that's the point. They got their 3K rank at the end of the PvP age, when the queue was at its softest. So that's how they were able to get 3K rank. That's how I was able to get such, like, literally the best ratio you can get in Wiz. Right? That's how you do it. But that's different if you start PvP at the beginning of the PvP age. Right? Look at this difference. The same duelist that if he had all his gears, the same duelist who would have went 137 to 20, the cleanest ratio possible in the game, went 212 and 138 in 4th age PvP, right? 212 and 138, right? How? Because the meta shifted. The best level tier to PvP, the most optimal level, was no longer level 50. It shifted to level 60 and level 65 because of the gear changes that KingsIsle introduced. This was all I could get in 4th age PvP, 1684. Now if I start PvP again, I could probably move up. But when I was doing PvP at the beginning of 4th age, I tried, and I could not get past this rank. And guess what? Same thing with Angel. If you want to say, hey David, you weren't the best duelist in 3rd age PvP, it was Angel, that's fine. But nobody would argue anyone else. You can argue for Angel or you can argue for me. It's like a Kobe and LeBron argument. Who was the best duelist in the last decade? It's a Kobe and LeBron argument. You could say it was Kobe, you could say it was LeBron, right? You could say it was me, you could say it was Angel. But guess what? Angel's rank was about 1600 as well in 4th age PvP when he quit the game because he couldn't move up anymore. He couldn't rank up past 1600 anymore. Right? Why? Because the meta has shifted and he quit the game. Just think about that. And then you have these boosters, these level 50 boosters who are so deceptive, who try to deceive and manipulate people, and they got 3K rank. They literally like, it's, excuse my language, these dumbasses literally did not even wait. They boosted their asses to 3K literally a month after the reset. 1 month! 1 month after the reset, they boosted to 3K and said, oh yeah, I just no-life the game. 1 month is plenty of time. They didn't even wait. Like, if you had waited like maybe like 2-3 months, honestly, there'd be more people that are inclined to believe you. I probably still would have saw through it. But like, dude, they didn't even wait. They boosted 3K in a month when Angel and I couldn't get past 1600. And I used the analogy of people, so everyone now knows, right, that my first video when I called out the boosters, at the time, there were a lot of people who just genuinely didn't know. They were genuinely confused and they were genuinely deceived. Since then, almost every serious duelist in the community have come to realize that what I said was true. Almost everyone has come to realize what I said was true. And almost everyone now realizes those people were boosters, right? But back then, they didn't know, and some people questioned me. They were like, how do you know they boosted? Just because they're better than you? Just because they're better than you in 4th age? Maybe you're too old. Maybe you don't got it anymore. And to that, I responded with this analogy. Imagine every year, there's a world championship tournament in weightlifting, right? And the past 5 years, there were two people have won that championship, right? Let's say Adam and John, right? In the past 5 years, only Adam and John have won the world weightlifting championship, right? Adam won twice, John won 3 times. And let's say in the 6th year, in the most recent year, they all come to the world lifting competition, right? Adam lifts, let's say 500 pounds. John lifts like, let's say 520 pounds, right? So John's about to win. But, you know, they're pretty similar because they're two of the best in the game. And then a guy come out of nowhere named Steve, and he lifts 1,000 pounds. And we just looked at him like the year before that year, everyone lifted 480, right? And then this year, everyone lifted 500 or 520. And then this guy out of nowhere lifts 1,000 pounds, right? You're basically screaming to the world, yo, I took steroids, right? These level 50 boosters, their ratio was twice as good as ours. And their rank was twice as good as ours. It's not like you take this ratio, you multiply by 2. So they have 400 wins and 200 losses, right? It's not that. Right? It's not that. They have twice the ratio. So they have something like 200 wins and 50 losses. And sometimes even better than that. And 3k rank. Right? If you were better, I'm not saying that you can't be better than Angel and I. You definitely can. In fact, I broke the status quo. Angel broke the status quo, right? Cameron Griffin-Caller was probably one of the best, if not the best duelist in Second Age. But in Third Age PvP, we surpassed them. Angel Tanner and I were much better than Cameron as a duelist, right? Our ratio were cleaner, our ranks were higher. You can be better than people. You can surpass people for sure if you put the work in. But you can't surpass people so much to the point where your ratio is twice as good, your rank is twice as good, to the point where it's not believable. If Steve came out of nowhere and lifted 550 pounds, everyone would start clapping and say, oh my gosh, you are the new champion. But if Steve came around and lifted 1,000 pounds, you must think we're dumb or you must be dumb, right? For you to boost a 3,000 rank in a month and not even have the patience to wait a little bit before you boost, that's just dumb. That's just dumb. You know how they thought that they could do it in a month and not get caught? That's the fallacy of the boosters. That's the fallacy of boosters right there. Because they got 3k in a month at the end of Third Age PvP, when the queue was at its softest. What did I say at the end of PvP ages? This is what I got at end of Second Age. Alright, this took less than a month. This is what I got in Fourth Age. Alright, this took like half a year. Maybe not half a year, maybe like 3 months, 3 to 5 months, right? It's not easy. This is not easy, right? PvP is not easy. No, I want to show you guys my fire. I want to show you guys my newest character, which is my level 65 flyer. So check out the stitch, pretty cool stitch here. Shout out to Lotus clan, the most elite PvP clan in Wizard101. You can join up by making a Lotus character. Anyone can join. So this is my fire character, right? This is my record. I made this in 4th Age PvP. This is my record, 41 to 30. All right, slightly embarrassing, but this is me. This is my fire. This is my level 65 fire in 4th Age PvP, right? This is what happened when I did PvP on a school that I've never used before. You think experience don't matter? It matters. Alright? One of the best duelists in the history of Wizard101, and this is my ratio. A lot of it, 5 matches were from losing connection, so you can cut out 5, but even if it's 41 to 25, that's still a pretty ugly record. That's still a pretty ugly ratio, right? Now, a lot of it can be just blamed on KingsIsle because the game is so RNG based, but nevertheless, the point is, this is me. This is me, right? The guy who's done 3,000 ranked matches, the guy who's done 9,000 practice matches, who has all the PvP intuition in the world, all the PvP experience in the world, and yet when I try a new character in a new school, there is still a learning curve. There is still a learning curve. The arena is a ruthless place. It's a cutthroat, ruthless place. It's a place where if you do not get with the meta, then yo ass will get wrecked. Alright? That's the arena for you. The arena is a ruthless and reckless place, and if you don't adapt, if you don't adjust, if you don't get with the meta, you will get your ass wrecked. You will get your ass wrecked. That's the arena for you. Alright? That's the arena. Some of the smartest people in the world play Wizard101. And PvP and Wizard101. This game is not easy. Alright? I have a friend, Lotus. He was a competitive Fortnite player. He won thousands of dollars playing competitive Fortnite. Alright? And he's a competitive duelist in Wizard101 now. I have another friend, Lotus. He's in school to be a freaking doctor. There's a lot of smart people that play competitive Wizard101 PvP. The arena is not easy. It is a cutthroat, ruthless place, and if you don't put the work in, you will get checked. If you don't put the work in, you will get checked. Alright, that's the arena. It's not easy, right? It's not easy. It is hard. It's hard, and you have to put the work in. You have to put the work in. So yeah, that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed this video. And I hope King Zhao learned just how hard PvP is and just how people boost. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate everyone for watching. Please let me know if I missed anything, and I'll definitely be making a lot of these types of videos in the future as well, just talking about the game and how to improve the game. And yeah, that's enough rambling from me. Yeah, thank you, and until next time, I'll see you in the next video, and until next time, see ya.